The company managed to maintain gross margins even though the input costs rose. We have Amritanshu Khaitan, MD of Eveready, now joining us. Amritanshu, good morning. Personally, a heavy user of Eveready because of all the batteries that go into kids' toys. Just want to understand this margin beat that you had. Was it on account of entirely price hikes? And what kind of outlook would you have on margins?
Actually, in the fourth quarter, the battery and flashlight category seasonally is a weak category. The margin improvement you've seen is because of our lighting category actually turning EBITDA positive, and the LED business actually contributing EBITDA margins of over 10%. Secondly, the input pressures which have been there on batteries shaved off about half of 1% of EBITDA in the fourth quarter. We are in the process of implementing certain price hikes in the AA, AAA categories to mitigate the cost pressures which have impacted margins in Q4.
Okay, good. I bought a lot of them yesterday.
Amritanshu, actually, I wanted to ask you first another development that you all announced yesterday. In fact, McLeod Russell announced that you are going to initiate discussions with each other for participating in a joint venture for development of packet tea business through a separate entity. Can you just tell us what are the plans here? Will they use your network to sell smaller sachets of tea? Is this a value added? Is this why Ajay Kaul is in the picture?
No, actually it is, the strategy is basically to leverage both the group companies' assets. Eveready already has a 75 crore packet tea business which has been more or less flat for last 7-8 years. It required specific focus and investment, especially in branding. So the board felt that we should spin it off into a separate SPV, which was mandated to me about 2 months ago, and look at bringing in a strategic partner. And then when we were looking at bringing in a strategic partner, the promoters felt that why not look at McLeod Russell itself, which is the world's largest tea plantation company. They bring in expertise in terms of sourcing and production, and Eveready uses its vast distribution network. And we really aim to come together and create an entity which in 3 to 4 years' time would hopefully become the third largest packet tea player in India after Unilever and Tata Tea.
Okay, so there is no money involved. You'll just, each of you bring in as corporate entities. Of course, it's all the same group, but you'll bring in only your strengths, your products. It's not as if you'll put in money and create a new company.
For Eveready, it is the business which is already there which will move out. But for McLeod Russell, we'll have to work out details, but they will have to invest into the new entity. So there will be capital infusion which will take place so that the branding exercise for our tea brands can go up to the next level. Okay. This is a very important step for McLeod Russell as well because of value addition being the next route of growth after they have already scaled up on the plantation side to the level they have reached.
Okay, so just to understand, this business will move out of Eveready, this packet tea business, and there will be a separate SPV that will be created. Will there be any kind of listing eventually of this separate company, anything of that sort?
It is too early to comment on listing. See, it's a very small entity. The packet tea business in Eveready is only 75 crores.
Yeah.
First step, we would want to invest in growing this business to at least 200 to 250 crore kind of turnover in 3-4 years.
Okay.
Today, it is a EBITDA negative business because it does not have economies of scale. Once we reach a 200-250 crore kind of top line, it would become a 10 to 12% EBITDA positive entity. At that time, we will look at options. If capital raising is required for that new entity, the management of the entity will take a call. But at the moment, our first step is to really look at scaling up a fragmented industry product and becoming a more important player in the 10,000 crore packet tea industry.
Okay, I wanted to also come back to that point you were making about the very strong growth in the LED business. So this year you've seen a turnover of almost 200 crores in LED versus about 100 crores last year. Over the next 2 years, what kind of turnover and margins would you be looking at?
See, if you look at our LED business, in the 200 crores, 50 crores came out of the EESL tenders. So the trade business was 150 crores. We are looking at doubling the trade business itself in the coming year to 300 crores. If I look at 2 to 3 years hence, I would club lighting and appliances together, and we would be aiming at anywhere between 700 to 800 crores of turnover, giving a EBITDA of at least 10 to 12% on the segment.
Okay. Well, actually, to be fair, LED is such a growing business. We had our entire building tube lights taken off and fitted with LED. And as well, packaged tea. These days, I think we've actually stopped buying the loose tea altogether.
Yes.
All of us are into tea bags. So yes, I guess Sunrise Industries. Therefore, can you give us some growth numbers, Amritanshu? How is FY18 shaping up?
Lata, you know, we've come off virtually zero growth for 3 quarters and posted a 7-8% top line growth. Due to cost conservation, we were able to expand our EBITDA. With finance costs coming down, we were able to improve our PBT. Going forward into the coming year, if things remain the way it is, I feel a 10 to 15% kind of top line growth and a 20-25% growth at EBITDA levels is possible. The only rider for us is to see how GST pans out, how it gets implemented. There could be destocking in the month of June, which would get evened out in July. So I would say that riding through demonetization, consumer companies are a little more confident with GST. But it is still 2-3 months of cautious watching to really understand how India progresses in this new tax regime.
So it looks like China is no longer a problem. There's so much confidence in your EBITDA forecast as well.
You know, batteries, which is where the China problem is now come down to 55% of our company turnover. It is still the cash cow of the company. With the growth rates in lighting being, as what you mentioned, very rapid, the categories of lighting and appliance, which were the drain on the company, will start contributing positively to the earnings. So even if battery volumes remain flat, which has been the trend, and we are able to maintain the margins, the EBITDA growth should come through the lighting and appliance category.
Okay, Amritanshu, all the best. You're getting into many new businesses, which could result in a lot of growth over the next couple of years. So we wish you all the best for that. That's Eveready. A good quarter coming in for the company, but not so good for